questions. Dr. Garvey, would you agree?
Yes, I would.
Are large corporations' use of fossil fuels one of the primary causes of climate change that we're seeing today?
Yes, is the simple answer.
Same here. Yes.
And how long has there been roughly a scientific consensus surrounding those two facts?
I would say roughly 20 years, and that consensus is of actively working scientists who publish in peer-reviewed journals.
Thank you. And we have documents going back decades showing specifically that Exxon knew about climate change. In 1977, Exxon scientist James Black told Exxon's top executives that, quote, the most likely manner in which mankind is influencing the global climate is through carbon dioxide released from the burning of fossil fuels. This was in 1977. This was followed by an internal memo in 1979, which stated that, quote, the present trend of fossil fuel consumption will cause dramatic environmental effects before the year 2050. Dr. Garvey, would you say that the folks you worked with at Exxon agreed with the consensus on climate change?
Wholeheartedly.
Dr. Hoffert?
I can testify to after 1981 because I was working at Exxon with a group that was doing the calculations, and of course we did know that.
Understood. Dr. Hoffert, your work with Exxon was focused on the carbon cycle and climate modeling. I have a slide up here. Are you familiar with this graph from 1982?
I believe I am, but I just saw the graph. Yeah, that is a calculation. I'm not sure who specifically to attribute it to. It could have been done by either of the researchers I was working with.
Can you briefly explain what it shows?
Sure. What it shows is a projection into the future of carbon dioxide levels and climate change associated with those carbon dioxide levels coming from fossil fuels. I don't have time for a detailed explanation, but that's it.
Briefly.
And it's a very accurate representation of what today's climate change actually is.
So this was a model from 1982 with startlingly accurate projections into the present
That's correct.
The orange line shows the actual level of carbon dioxide in the atmosphere through this year. And the blue line shows the actual average temperature change. So in 1982, Exxon accurately, 1982, 7 years before I was even born, Exxon accurately predicted that by this year, 2019, the Earth would hit a carbon dioxide concentration of 415 parts per million and a temperature increase of 1 degree Celsius. Dr. Hoffert, is that correct?
We were excellent scientists.
Yes, you were. Yes, you were. So they knew. They knew, and I presume they knew what some of the consequences of that 1 degree Celsius change would be. Some of them, not all.
Absolutely. I would like to have an opportunity to discuss that if someone asks me.
Dr. Hoffert, you have previously said that Exxon's historic denial was immoral and greatly set back efforts to address climate change. That's correct, yes?
It is correct that I said that. I have good reason to say it.
And in 1998, API's Global Science Communications Team Action Plan, which involved Exxon, Chevron, Southern Company, and more, laid out the industry's denial campaign. They knew that they were going to dump unknown at that time amounts of money, but a large investment in a climate denial and doubt campaign in the United States and around the world, correct?
To the best of my knowledge, that's true.